Welcome to our adventure book where we help you turn family travel dreams into unforgettable memories. We are your hosts. I am Jenny,
And I'm Eve.
and this podcast is designed to help take the stress out of family travel. So let's get started.
Ooh, I'm excited for today. We are going to switch it up a little bit and we're going to do a trip report to a pretty amazing place. So, we're going to talk about this. Are you ready to hear about our separate trip reports and tips for traveling to the beautiful Turks and Caicos? First, we're going to tell you about why each of us visited this lovely island and a little bit about Turks, and end with some highlights and tips to know if you're considering a vacation here. Jenny, since you literally just returned, tell us about your family trip to paradise.
Yeah, so we just got back from Turks and Caicos last week. We stayed at the Beaches Resort, Turks and Caicos. We decided to take this trip because my kids love going to the beach. My husband Cameron and I, we're not huge beach people, mostly just because when we go on vacation, we like to do a lot of activities, and the beach just, you kind of lay around and don't do a lot. But we thought this would be a great year to kind of take that because we had a very busy like school year with the kids and stuff. And we thought this would be a great time for us to really just kind of be forced to spend a lot of time together. Um, so when my kids were like, let's go to the beach, I thought I'm going to find the nicest beach I can that's easy to get to from where we live. And that's when I discovered Turks and Caicos in the Beaches Resort. Another reason why I chose this resort is because I have two adult children, and traveling with them when it comes to food and drinks is very, very expensive. And I thought, man, on our last trip, wouldn't it be great if we just stayed at an all inclusive and everyone could eat and drink whatever they wanted without being like, hey, can I go get this? Hey, can I go get this? And I will say it was pretty fantastic. That option was really nice. This resort also has really large rooms that you can get. So we had a 2-bedroom, like suite style room at concierge level. It was really comfortable. We all had space, the all inclusive aspect of it, and literally the most beautiful water I've ever seen in my life. Just made this vacation really, really fantastic.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so happy that you guys got to go do that. Well, my husband and I, we celebrated our 20th anniversary in 2024, and because it was a milestone 20th, we wanted to do something a little extra special. I'm a big lover of the beach. He's not as much, but you can't turn away from those beautiful turquoise waters. It was something different. We had never been down there, so it was just calling to me. It was very relaxing. When you can get away just one on one with your partner, your spouse, that is such a great thing to do, especially with that all inclusive. And there's no cooking, there's no cleaning, there's just resting, there's only kind of thinking about yourself and your person. So we did a ton of relaxing there, a ton of like sitting in the hammocks with our books, looking out over the water, ordering coconut drinks, just having a wonderful, relaxing vacation. We were also at the beaches there at the end of October, and it was our first time to the all inclusive resort. And overall, we just had an amazing adventure. So much where we were like, we would love to bring our kids back here one day.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great place for families too. There's tons of families. It is also what one thing I noticed, a fantastic option for multi-generational families. We saw so many grandparents and then their children, their children's family, like aunts and uncles and cousins, and almost like family reunion style setups here. Because there's really a room for everyone. They have your traditional hotel rooms, and then they have these larger rooms, and then they have literal beach houses that you can rent that sleep a ton of people. They have a private pool and you get a butler and it's right on the beach. So there's just something for everyone. And I think that makes it fun. So if you are an adult, especially like y'all traveling without kids, I would not be scared to go to this resort because it's so big. It didn't feel overrun by kids. Whereas some resorts kind of can feel that way. I personally did not feel that this resort felt that way at all.
I agree. And because it is a little spread out, but not too spread out, we would have our daily walk. So we would kind of get to see what all the rooming situation were. And those beach houses were incredible. I mean, they were gorgeous. They had little fenced in yards. So if people who had smaller kids, had little pools and swings out there, you're going to pay for that. But
Hmm.
they looked amazing, especially if you're going with like friends or other family. We had a room that, because it was our anniversary, we got lucky and they put us a little bit closer to the water. I mean, literally by the water. We would just open our back patio door off our bedroom and, you know, 20 yards away was a beach and a water, and it felt very private and very relaxing right there.
Yeah, and this resort also has different villages. So there's the Key West Village, which is where we stayed. There's the Italian Village, the French Village, the Caribbean Village, and then the brand new Treasure Beach Village. So each village offers different things, and each village has, minus Key West, has restaurants that are themed to that. So the Italian Village has the Italian food restaurants. The French Village has the French restaurants. The Caribbean Village has more of your Caribbean seafood style food. And then Treasure Beach has some steakhouses, and it's really more like American style food, I would say, over there. So it's really nice. So when we first got there, like you said, it's really large. We felt a little bit overwhelmed. We had asked our concierge assistant, like, what's your favorite restaurant? And she had mentioned Mario's, which was the Italian restaurant. And so she's like, that's when she kind of told us Mario's is in the Italian village. And, this other French restaurant's in the French village. And we were kind of like, oh, okay, now I kind of understand the setup. So even though it is very large, it is really easy to get around and you will learn very quickly where everything is. Like we spent our first day, we got there around 3:30. We spent that first day just walking around, kind of get the lay of the land before we, spent our first full day there, which was also really nice.
Yeah, and they had lots of different options. They had what looked like a really cool teens club where there was lots of gaming going on. They had a kids club where we were thinking, well, if we came and brought our youngest one, he would have an amazing day in here when we could go out and do some of the things, the activities that were geared towards older kids or adults. Lots of different pools to go look at. So you could always find a space that kind of suited the mood that you were at while you were there.
Yeah, there's a water park as well that has small water slides and larger water slides. They have one of those, I don't like wave rider things where it makes the waves and you kind of go out and surf on it for all ages. I mean, I'm sure there's a height limit, but we saw all different ages of kids doing that. Has a lazy river. They also have tons of sports courts. They had pickleball courts, they had basketball courts, tennis courts. One of my sons is really big into pickleball, and he actually taught us all how to play. And then at the resort, 2 nights a week, they have pickleball tournaments. That was so much fun. So Asher is very good at pickleball, like very, very good. He played the
I
pro
believe
there
it.
and beat him. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, so he's like, we're going to go to this tournament and we're going to kick everyone's butts. Absolutely not. There were like professional pickleballers at this tournament. I'm like, where did you come from? They came with their own paddles. They were ready to go, but it was so much fun. We had such a great time doing all of that.
Oh, what a good memory.
Yeah, and then there's tons of other water sports like paddleboarding, kayaking. They have like little mini catamarans. You can schedule a snorkeling tour where you get on a boat and they take you out to snorkel in deeper waters where it's prettier. All of this is included. You pay nothing extra, which other resorts that are all inclusive, you still might have to pay upcharges for certain things, not at beaches. There were no upcharges. The only thing we ended up paying for were souvenirs we bought and then excursions that we decided to do on our own.
Yeah. And some of those excursions were really cool. Like they had the snuba, where you wear the
Hmm.
mask and you go down. Unfortunately, we were there in October, which the weather was a little bit, more rainy and the water was too rough. So we weren't able to take advantage of those ones. But I thought, oh, that's so cool that that price is included in there. But we had a lot of fun. Like they have really nice gift stores. And we walked out to a little market that they had going on and got all sorts of fun jewelry and t-shirts and everything like that. So it was just overall such I would say like a vacation for anybody.
Hmm. I agree. I think any age could go here. We literally saw all ages and they were all having a really, really great time. Which that's why this is such a great multi-generational trip. One thing I also appreciated, because I do have picky eaters in my family, is that there's so many different restaurants. There were so many restaurants. Like there's no way we could have ate at all and we would have to stay for like 2 weeks. And so we could find something that everyone would enjoy at least somewhere, which was really nice as well.
Yeah, and besides from it just being a great vacation in all those ways, and you have the beautiful water and the stunning beaches and everything, it also is a relatively easy vacation. When you're on the beaches property, you feel really safe. It is a small island. It's easy to get to for the most part. Um, Everybody speaks English. They use American dollars. So it just is kind of a convenient paradise vacation.
Yes, I totally agree. It was very easy from where we are in Texas. We're in the Austin area. We flew to Houston and then we had a direct flight from Houston. It was like 3.5 hours long. It's not even that long of a flight. And then one thing I also appreciate because I've been to other islands in the Caribbean is sometimes the airport can be really far from these islands. It was a 15-minute car ride. So this island is very small. But
Sure.
it wasn't like we've been to Jamaica where we were on a bus for like 45, 50 minutes. It was not like that at all. It was really fast and convenient, which I also enjoyed.
Yes. And speaking of the airport, that was interesting, wasn't it? I would say for a small island, they could definitely stand with an upgrade for their airport. You
Yes.
did feel like you were definitely like in a different country. It was small, no AC. It was packed. There was hardly anywhere to sit down. The airport was a little bit of a shock for me when you're going on kind of like this deluxe vacation.
Yeah, the airport was interesting. Like I said, I've been to the Dominican, I've been to Jamaica. Those airports were not like this airport. When we were leaving to come back to the States, there was literally nowhere to sit. Like the airport was jam-packed. There's like four gates total. And so
Yes.
everyone is like crowded around these gates. It was insane.
Yeah, I felt like you definitely go back in time going to that airport,
Yeah.
because even like the security and then all of a sudden like your gate is like just right there.
Yes. Just right there. Like you walk out of security, there were like people sitting by security in chairs. And I'm like, why are they sitting here? Well, because those were the only chairs available because the gate was literally right there.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Yeah,
funny.
I know.
One thing that did surprise me though is this island was a lot warmer than I thought it would be. We just got back, so this is the beginning of June when we went. We did have a few rainy days as well, which they said it typically doesn't rain a lot in Turks and Caicos, which I was also surprised because you would think beach island it's gonna rain. They said they don't get a lot of rain, but it did rain one full day we were there, and then a little bit the next morning. We actually had to cancel one of our excursions, which was kayaking because they just didn't know how the tides were going to be and how the weather was, it ended up being totally fine. But it was really hot, like hot, hot, hot,
Mm.
which I've never been to a beach where it felt like really, really hot, which was nice because then we could just swim and the water was really refreshing.
Hmm. Nice, because we kind of had the opposite experience going in October where it was very mild. It was very overcast, still absolutely gorgeous. The water was comfortable. It definitely was not hot though.
Yeah, the weather was surprising. I thought it would be milder. It was hot, like really hot, almost as hot as it feels here back in Texas.
Mm, interesting.
Something else I want to mention real quick before we move on is about the spa. Eve, did y'all do the spa when you were there?
We did.
The
It
spa
was
is so
gorgeous.
nice. Yes, we did two couples massages because so we had a couples massage the first full day that we were there planning that morning, and we loved it so much. We were like, well, we're gonna book one on our departure day and kind of have a massage before we leave. It was so
Nice.
nice. Um, it was really small, which I kind of appreciated. I hate when spas are kind of big and have all these amenities, and you're just like, what? It's a little bit overwhelming. The spa was much smaller. The techs were so kind, really, really nice. And it was the best massage I've ever had.
Yes, I agree. It was like very intimate space. It was
Hmm.
smaller. We did a couples massage as well. I thought it was so beautiful and relaxing. Now I'm jealous that you got two there, but yes, definitely go to the spa though. It's worth
Yes,
it.
Cameron was like, we're doing this again. We also worked out. There's a fitness room. It was decently sized. I was kind of surprised. It had a lot of really good equipment. It was all brand new equipment, which was also nice. I kind of appreciated. So we went there a couple of days as well. I will say the one day that I did not go to the fitness room, my husband went and the AC was not working
Ooh.
and he was dying. He was like, it was so hot. He had all the doors open and the workers kept coming and closing the doors. He's like, you cannot close the doors. I will not be able to breathe. It's so hot in here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we did not work
So
out on that trip. We drank from coconut drinks.
yeah. But they also have like when you're walking around, like you said, hammocks all over the place. They had a giant chess set. We saw a wedding there that was really beautiful. They have sand volleyball courts. The sand volleyball court was over by the new building, the Treasure Beach Village, which this building looks really, really beautiful. It was really far away. We walked there the first day. We never went back over there because it was just kind of a long trek. And the pool was really nice, but it didn't have a lot of features to it. We also didn't spend a lot of pool time. We kind of were there to spend more time at the beach. Um, but they did have a sand volleyball court over there, and that was also on that side where they were doing the weddings by the water because I think it was just less busy over there.
Yeah, that's actually the side that we stayed on. They were building that when we were there. It was like kind of right outside our room. And we would go out and then kind of walk along the beach that was off of the beach's resort, but just have a nice long stroll down that beautiful beach right there. And it was
Yeah,
very
because
quiet on that side.
all of the beach is public beach, so anyone can walk around. If you, I feel like there were guards, so if they kind of saw you, there were like security guards on each end of the beach's property. So if they saw someone kind of walking in and then sitting down, they would kind of go over and kind of verify that they were staying at beaches, as opposed to just like someone coming and sitting in the chairs. But for the most part, it wasn't an issue. But there, yeah, you could just walk all the way down the coastline, which was really nice as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so let's move into our next segment, which is going to be our adventure book tip of the week. And today we're talking about, in general, tips for traveling to Turks and Caicos.
Okay, cool. I'll kick it off with kind of the best time to visit. My dad is a retired Air Force meteorologist, and so I am always thinking about the weather. So, just so you know, in Turks and Caicos, kind of the peak season is December through April. It's the best weather of the year, low humidity, minimal rain, great beaches, snorkeling, boating, all that good stuff. Con to that is you are typically going to pay a higher price and the resorts book early. This is a place that you do want to book in advance as much as possible, and that the restaurants could require reservations. But just so you know, average weather is 78 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're going to go in May to June, which is kind of like a sweet spot, then a lot of people say this is like your best value time to go. You're going to get the warm weather, fewer crowds, lower hotel rates, and hurricane season hasn't really ramped up yet. Your temps say 85 to 88 degrees. Might have been a little hotter while you were just there in June, but this is a good time to go if you want good weather without the peak season prices. Now, if you go July to August, you've got some more pros like the warmest weather if you like that warm water to swim in. So it's great for swimming and snorkeling and just family beach time. Your con is going to be hotter and more humid. You may have some afternoon showers more, and hurricane season is officially beginning. Your average weather 88 to 91 degrees. And then official Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. The highest risk period for Turks and Caicos is August through October. This is when most of the tropical storms and hurricanes might affect the region. So if you're going to go during that time, what do you need to do? Just make sure you get traveler's insurance. Check that out before you go. Make sure you're comfortable with it. You could still have that. I mean, that's when we went, was considered high risk for hurricane season, but we felt great there. We did not have a problem with any of that at all. And then just make sure you're booking everything with your insurance and refundable. And I think the highest peak is in September for hurricane season down there.
Yeah, I would just, one thing I learned while we were there, because we kind of asked, is they're very well prepared for hurricanes. So if you do find yourself there in a hurricane, I'm pretty sure you'd be fine because, like they said, they're really prepared for it. They don't get a lot of hurricanes, but they can get a lot of the outer bands, which just causes all the rain and the flooding. But just kind of knowing when to go. I did book this vacation at the beginning of August in 2025, and for our room category, there were 2 rooms left. So
Oh,
it
wow.
books fast. I'm pretty sure right now you can book through 2028. So one of the reasons I think this is an issue is because when you're there, they try to get you in and they're like, if you book your next stay with us now, you get this discount on this room. And so a couple of things, that's how I think people get butler rooms is by them booking and getting that discount. And then I think that's why some of the rooms fill up so fast as well. Because a lot of people from up north, they said that Canada loves Turks and Caicos. Like people in Canada want to come down when it's the winter to enjoy that nice warm weather.
There were some Canadians on our boat ride. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. And by the way, we also did book that return one to come back because we were like, we have to bring our kids here, like that giant chess set and all the stuff. We wanted to bring them back. And then it just didn't end up working out with the other trips that we wanted to take. And we ended up losing, the discounted rate, but also about $700. But just so you know, if you do book that, make sure you are going back.
Yes, and just be careful. Like, don't just let them talk you into booking it because you know you're there and you had a great time and you're like, yeah, I want to come back. Like, go home because they can run specials as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So, my tip is do not cut corners when you're planning a trip, like especially this vacation trip. I was really glad that we ended up getting the larger room that we got, but looking back, I 100%, if I was going to go back, I would get the butler service. I just wasn't fully aware of how nice the butler service would have been, but you get room service. You don't get room service if you don't have butler service. And we saw so many butlers on their bikes with all this room service food. And especially after our first full day at the beach, like we didn't really want to get dressed and go eat. That was our only option. So it would have been really nice to just been like, hey, and they will get you food from whatever restaurant. So having that option would have been really, really nice. They do have smaller butler service rooms. They come in all different sizes. So you don't have to get that big house on the beach. You can have a smaller room and still have the butler service option. You get reserved seating at the pools, you get reserved covered seating on the beach. They give you a cooler full of drinks to take with you. They bring it everywhere you go. So if you're on the beach, you have this cooler full of water and whatever other drinks that you want in it. They bring you food to the beach, they bring you drinks to the beach. Um, it's just a lot of perks. They will book your excursions for you, they will book your snorkeling for you, they will book your reservations. So you have to loosely have a reservation. You can't make them till you get there, but so, like, when we wanted to go eat at Mario's, around 4 o'clock, we'd kind of go up to the restaurant and be like, hey, when is a good time for us to come back? And they just kind of give you a time to come back so you're not standing there waiting. So they'd say, oh, come back at 6:30. Your butler will do all of that for you. So you just tell your butler where you want to eat. They'll make sure that you get into that spot. So there's just little perks like that that I wasn't fully aware of. I thought there wasn't as much that came with the butler service. There's actually a lot. You also get a luxury, and I say luxury because it was like a Escalade or a Tahoe transportation from the airport instead of a shuttle. So, and they kind of like when we were at the airport and we saw people who had butler, they like bring them drinks, like nice drinks while they're still at the airport. And then they kind of had a nicer drive over to the resort. So I would just say book really far in advance and then make payments on your trip so that it becomes a little bit more affordable for you to have these perks. I just think these perks would be really nice to have. Um, my other thing, which I did not learn about this until the day before we left, but the airport has a fast pass system. Did you know about this when y'all went?
I don't think so.
Okay, so because summer is, even though it's not considered their busiest season, it's still busy when visiting Turks and Caicos. They have a fast pass system, so you can pay to go in the fast lane when you arrive at the airport, so you don't have to stand in that really long. Is it customs or immigration? I get those confused. I think it's customs. You don't have to stand in that line. You kind of get to cut into a different line. And so I had done a little bit of research. I had seen people who were like, you're already paying a lot for your vacation. This will just make it a little bit better. So I ended up buying it for us only on our arrival. You can do your arrival and departure. I wasn't worried about our departure, so I just did it on our arrival. I am so glad I did because when we walked into that airport, that line was insanely long. Like, I'm pretty sure it was going to be like an hour to 2 hour long wait. Like, it was spilling out. It was so long. And they only had two lines that were taking people. So we did the fast pass and we got there in like 15 minutes. Like it was so, so fast. So, and then after we got through customs, someone came over to us and walked us to where we needed to go exactly to get to the beaches table to get over to our resort. So I just think it was worth it. I think for all five of us, it was $300 extra, which is $300. But for me, it was $300 well spent because we had already been flying all day. We were tired. We just wanted to get to the resort instead of standing in line at an airport with no air conditioning.
Mm. Wow, yeah, that is a really good tip. I wasn't aware of that. I don't remember the lines being exorbitant when we went in October and it's just two of us, but I agree that would be money well spent when you're arriving there.
Yeah, I think, and like you probably didn't go during a really high season, but if you are going in like December, which I know is their like around the holidays, is their very busiest time, I would 100% get this because yikes, that line, like there were people walking in that were like, how do I get the fast pass? And you can't buy it when you get there. You have to buy it ahead of time.
Okay, everybody
So
write that down in your notes right now.
get the fast pass.
Fast Pass is worth it. Disney and Turks and Caicos.
Yes, anytime you can get it. You can buy it when you leave, but Beaches wanted us to get to the airport 3 hours before our flight, which we actually didn't get there that early. We got there like 2 hours. So we had so much time. I definitely would not have wanted to fast pass to just stand in that really hot area for
Yes.
hours. So we didn't mind standing in line there. And that line actually went a little bit quicker. So
Wow. Okay. Good to know. Again. All right. Well, let's move on to share our magical moments from Turks and Caicos. I have two that I have several that I'm going to share, but the first one is that we did an excursion where we went out, and it made me think of like what we would do when we were like dating before we were married and had kids and stuff like this. We were like with all these young people on this cool boat, and we went out to what's called Noah's Ark. And it's a floating bar, just like out in the middle. Apparently, it was like highly popularized because Drake, the singer, goes there all the time. So there were all sorts of fun drinks, and they have like things you can jump out on in the middle. And it's just this bar in the middle of the gorgeous ocean. And it was fun. It made us feel very young. We actually really, really, really enjoyed people watching on that trip. I would say was the highlight of, our partying while we were there. My second thing is that this is so random, but I posted something when we got there about our anniversary. And one of my really, really, really good friends from high school that I played soccer with, that I hadn't seen since I graduated in 1994, was also there with her husband. And so we ended up meeting up at a bar there and hanging out, and then hanging out in the airport with them when we left. And I was like, that is so random, but they take some really cool trips too. And so it was really fun to see them there. And then my last thing is because this was our 20th wedding anniversary, and it was not too long after COVID and lots of kids and all the things. We were tired. And so we found ourselves going to bed at like 8 o'clock there and sleeping until 8 or 9 in the morning, which we never do. So it truly felt like a respite and a vacation in paradise.
yes, it's so nice. And the seeing your friend there is crazy.
It was
Like, what are the
wild.
odds?
Yes. She was like, "What? What? You're here now too? Let's meet at this bar."
That's so fun. My daughter wanted to go to the Noah's Ark because there's like swings in the water, I think, but it's 18 and older. I was like, you can't go there.
Yeah, that definitely was not the place for kids. There was a lot of
Yes,
smells in the air, lots of drinking. We really had a lot of fun people watching on that trip.
that is fun. So my magical moment from our trip was we decided to do an excursion where we went on an ATV ride. The ride was supposed to be on the beach, and then they were going to take you to a 40-foot natural sinkhole in the ground and some caves that you got to go in to explore it. But because it was raining, we had to do our ATV ride on the actual road, which was crazy. Because if you've ever been to a Caribbean island, they don't have roads like we have here in America. The roads are very, very tiny, very narrow. And in Turks, they drive on the opposite side of the road, which was also really interesting, but also fun because our tour guide's like, hey, you can go back and tell everyone you drove on the opposite side of the road. But it was ended up being really, really fun. We were driving in the rain, and we were with this other family who was from our resort, and they were super nice, and it was their first time as well. And the sinkhole was absolutely amazing. We learned a little bit about the history in Turks, and then they took us to this like beachside bar that would have been really fun to hang out at if it was not storming. So we like go in this bar and it is storming like hardcore at this point. And the guy's like, "Does anyone need a drink to cool off?" And it was kind of chilly because we were soaking wet from riding. We're like, "No, we're good." So we're all just like standing in this little hut, just kind of waiting to leave. But the water was so pretty there. Like that would have been really nice if it wasn't raining. But overall, the ride was so much fun. Like just driving around the island, getting to see other parts of the island because we did pretty much just stay at our resort the whole time. When we got back, we were all just like laughing from the whole experience, driving on the road, like getting pelted by rain. And at the end of our trip, when I asked everyone what was your favorite part, they literally all said the ATV ride.
No way.
Yes, they
That's
just
funny.
loved it. It
Making
was
another
so fun.
adventure.
Yep,
Yeah,
another
I love it.
adventure. Okay, so that's all for today's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you follow the show wherever you listen. If you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, if you could leave us a 5-star review, that would be fantastic. It's the best and easiest way to support the show. If you have anyone who loves to travel, is a family who wants to travel, is a family who is an experienced traveler, share the show with them. It's just a great way to get us out there so other people can start listening. If you watch on YouTube, make sure you like this show and like this episode and leave us a comment. Have you ever been to Turks and Caicos? What's your favorite Caribbean island to visit? I'd love to hear all of it. We're always up for new ideas, new adventures. It's fun to talk about travel.
Yes, it's so much fun to talk about travel, and we definitely want to hear from you as well. So keep joining us every Wednesday for a new episode, and remember, the best stories are the ones you live together.